A century ago, a prosperous black neighborhood in Tulsa, Oklahoma was nearly destroyed at the hands of a violent white mob. You're looking at pictures from the Tulsa Historical Society and Museum. These are from 1921. The mob burned businesses and homes to the ground. As many as 300 people were killed, but many believe that number was much higher. Back then, reports say more than $27 million worth of property was destroyed. Today, that number would be around $468 million. Right now in Oklahoma, their Supreme Court is hearing from the last two survivors of the massacre. Both are 109 years old. In a public nuisance lawsuit, they're seeking reparations from the city of Tulsa for the race massacre. Joining us this noon, our 9 News legal expert Whitney Traylor to kind of break down this case a little bit. Whitney, thank you for joining me today.
Sure, it's good to be here to talk about this important case and ruling.
Yeah, we were just chatting a little bit about it. I mean, just starting with their age and the fact that they're of sound mind to discuss this and, you know, fight for some things that they very well deserve is really impressive.
Yes.
But talk a little bit about the facts behind the case.
Yeah, this case stems, and it speaks to the fact that they're still alive. These are plaintiffs that actually were alive during the race massacre 100 years ago in 1921. And what happened, as you said in the lead-in, was this mob came in, this white mob, and there was a town of Greenwood that they considered Black Wall Street. And they did so because there were law firms, dentists, hotels, movie theaters. And this was coming soon after slavery. And so this white mob descended in one day and destroyed essentially the whole neighborhood. 8,000 people were left homeless, and as you mentioned, at least 300 people there were these mass burials, so they don't know exactly how many were impacted, and so the neighborhood never rebuilt. And what made this so bad was that you had the National Guard also came in and helped to round up those black citizens and actually kept them in what people would call internment camps for up to 8 days. And so the lawsuit is because the insurance companies never honored that. The city never compensated them and essentially tried to bury it. And so I think here they're seeking an accounting of the property that was lost, a hospital and things like that. But I think it's also important to acknowledge this on a broader scale because just a lot of America doesn't know about it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You touched on a couple of those things, but talk a little bit about what these plaintiffs are asking for, because it's not like they're asking for a big settlement of money.
That's correct. I mean, there is a compensation.
Sure,
yes, a financial component. Thank you for helping me. But no, what they're also looking for, and I think what's really important, is the detailed accounting of what was lost, because this is just speculation. And you had the entire neighborhood was just, I mean, you saw the pictures on the lead-in, it looked like a war zone. And so that will be an important piece of it. The hospital, as I said, and then a creation of the Victims' Compensation Fund. And this, you know, the insurance company should also be involved, but this is really directed towards the government officials, including the Oklahoma Military Department, which oversaw the National Guard.
Okay. And so, Whitney, of course, these plaintiffs, they're over 100 years old, and they really just want to be heard in court. Can you speak a little bit more to that fact as well?
Yeah, well, the fact that this was hidden in history, I mean, a lot of people, a lot of educated people who are attuned to what's happening didn't even know about this. And so I think that was part of the issue. And of course, the defendants are saying, well, this was too attenuated. This was a situation that happened. But one of the plaintiffs said she still has nightmares about stacked corpses, that they had these sort of mass graves. So I think the fact that they would get their day in court, because the case was dismissed by a trial court judge, and now they're in front of the Supreme Court saying, hey, the case should go forward. So I think that's really the issue, is if the Supreme Court sends it back down and they're able to then testify and tell their story in a court of law.
Oh, a horrific thing that they lived through, honestly, and no one should have to live through that. Really quickly, we're almost out of time. What does this mean going forward? What's the big takeaway potentially with starting things today? Well,
I think the acknowledgement, and certainly if the plaintiffs prevailed, I think the acknowledgement, and then I think you might see, we've seen the public nuisance law be used against opioid and in opioid settlements, including in Oklahoma, so we may see an expansion of public nuisance law for some of these kinds of civil rights wrongs that have happened in recent history.
Okay, Whitney, thank you so much. I know there's a lot of information there, but you broke it down really well. So
thank you.
Thank you so much.